we must, while we are in this earthly house, start preparing for that house out there in space. And God says, I'm going to give you some new clothes to put on for space travel. And we are thankful as Christians to know that all we have to do in order to get ready for space travel is to listen to mission control. And if we listen to mission control and follow the instructions, there will be no trouble in space. Every direction in this space program comes from Houston. The spacecraft leaves Cape Canaveral in Florida, comes back California, but the mind behind it comes from Houston. We, as human beings, are spread throughout the world. God made us and put us here upon the earth, but he didn't leave us without instruction. He said heaven, not Houston, but heaven is mission control. If you listen to heaven, you'll be all right. You'll be all right, and he'll tell you how. You notice the article says that these men were testing suits to be used out in space. They go through simulations and so on, and to see if it'll work out there. Well, God knows more about space than any astronaut here on this earth. God made space. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And so if he made the heavens, he knows how to handle us. Therefore, we need some new attire for this house that God is going to give us. You remember the Bible says that God knows who we are. Listen, and we're Bible preachers. Turn over to Psalm 103, verse 13, to let you know that this old house is dissolving, and we need some new attire for the space age. In Psalm 103 and verse 13, and someone else go to Job 14 and hold it for me. All right, in Psalm 103 and verse 13, the Bible says what?
Like as a father
pitieth
his children, so the Lord pitieth them that fear
him.
For he knoweth our frame.
Get this now. He knows our frame.
He remembereth that we are dust.
He remembers that we
are dust. As for man,
hold it. I'm glad God has a good memory. So when I have my problems in the flesh, he remembers that I'm just dust.
Talks.
And that will humble anybody.
Yes, sir. Yes.
When you think you're so much, and you know you're so high and mighty,
yeah.
And you look at this verse, and God pities us like we pity children, because he remembers. First of all, it says he knows
our frame,
yeah. And he remembers that we are dust. Now that doesn't mean that you Try to use that for everything you do wrong. Lord, remember. Yes, God knows man, and he remembers that we are dust. What else?
As for man,
as for man,
his days are as grass.
His days are as grass. I told you we're dissolving. And I really don't have to tell you we're dissolving. You don't believe you're dissolving as a body? Get a picture of yourself of 15 years ago. Look at it. And then look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And you know that you're on your way out. And you can put on all the Grecian formula and just for men and Lady Clairol you want. You're on your way out. All of us are. But we have another house.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This house is not made with hands.
Yeah.
And it's not here on this earth. Because this earth will pass away.
Yes, sir.
And we're going out of this world. And it depends on whether or not you are ready for space travel as to whether or not you go to heaven. You have to get ready for space travel.
Yes, sir.
And the book says God, knowing that we are dust, that we are dissolving, has given us a suit. A suit. He has given us a suit. As for man,
his days are as grass.
His days are as grass.
As a flower of the field.
As a flower of the field.
So he flourisheth.
So he flourisheth.
For the wind passeth over it.
The wind passeth over it.
And it is gone.
And it is gone.
The place thereof.
And the place thereof.
Shall know it no more.
Shall know it no more. Time changes things. Right here, I'm from Houston, and I can get lost even in Houston because I lived here 30 years ago, 35, 40 years ago, and the streets have changed. All of these interstate networks and spaghetti and macaroni. You miss one turn, you don't know where you are, and I'm from Houston. Because time changes things, and time changes us. So we have to get ready for something else. And so Job 14:1, Job said, what?
Man that's born of a woman.
That is born of a woman.
Is a few days.
Is a few days.
And full of trouble.
And full of trouble.
He cometh forth.
Cometh forth.
Like a flower.
Like a flower.
Is cut down.
And is cut down.
He fleeth as a shadow.
He fleeth as a shadow.
And continueth not.
And he continueth not. I don't have to spend much more time really on talking about the dissolving house, because you and I know that we are dissolving. There are many other scriptures, Ecclesiastes 12:1-7. I won't read it, but that first verse says, remember now your Creator in the days of your youth, while the evil days come not. Now the years draw nigh when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Read Psalm 90:1-12, and in verse 12 he says, Lord, teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. James said, what is your life? It is even as a vapor that appears for a little while, and it vanishes away. The Hebrews writer said, in Hebrews 9 and verse 27, it is appointed unto a man once to die, and after death, the judgment. Well, since we realize we are dissolving, what must we do How do we prepare for the space age? Well, there are some preparatory clothes that God has given here on the earth. This is before we get out there in the space age. Let's go to Psalm 132 and verse 13. Someone go to Isaiah 61:10 and then Galatians 3:26 and 27. I'm going to show you we have to prepare. You have to put on not something, but you have to put on somebody. Prep. Well, did God look down the stream of time and tell us that he would get us ready for space? In Psalm 132, verse 13, the book says what?
For the Lord has chosen Zion.
For the Lord has chosen Zion.
He has desired it.
He has desired it
for his
holy.
habitation.
Now listen, the salvation that we're talking about right now started out in Zion. And the Lord chose Zion.